Greetings and salutations. It's Dave Duford here at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you complete successfully your very first insurance sales, in this case, final expense sales appointment. That is the topic of today's video. And I'm going to start right into it, addressing a question from an agent of mine named Scott. I'm going to read his email verbatim and then answer it as best as I can. Hey Dave, I'm a new agent. We'll be entering the field later next week or the following week. In our next training session, can you take us through the process of a new agent mindset after we get through the pre-qualifier questions? Example, would step 1 be using the quoter to determine pricing? Step 2, to use the cheat sheet to determine which carrier is best based off conditions, health, and payment? Step 3, step 4, I fully believe in starting with a process, especially when you're new, so I don't look completely discombobulated. On top of being nervous, yes, absolutely. And that's why I want to put this video together, is always, first of all, the first appointment or appointments, really the first 50 are going to be awkward. You're going to feel like an idiot. But all of this is good because that initial awkwardness is what keeps a lot of people away from even trying or an attempt in this business. Right? A lot of people are just afraid to be successful. And that's kind of what the old saying, fear of success comes from. So I would, on some level, to an answer to this, Scott, is to embrace the discomfort. It's going to happen. Now, the way that you can make it better, besides just time, you'll develop a natural skill set that only in the trenches can teach you. But the other things you can do is just kind of know what to expect. So the way that I teach the final expense sales process, first and foremost, is to build rapport, chit-chat a little bit to get them to like and relax with you. Introduce yourself formally so people know who you are and what's in it for them. Next, you want to go to discussing specifically what questions, why they did what they did, why they sent the card back, what are they looking to accomplish. Develop a kind of an emotional need underlying everything with pre-qualifying questions. Certainly qualify on health, bank account, make sure you can draft something, and then a budget. So up to that point, what do you do after that? At this point, you should spend some time searching through the available companies, at least on a cheat sheet level. So step 1 at this point would be to look at your cheat sheet. If you're watching this, you want access to it, I'll give you the same cheat sheet my agents have access to. It'll help a ton figuring out which carriers to use when. It's totally free, no obligation. So use that link. Figure out, at least narrowing it down to 1 or 2, but that you think based off of the basic underwriting, so you kind of know how to proceed. That's important to do before you get into the sales section, which is the presentation, the third step of 4. In that section, once you've got an idea of who you're going to go with, then you need to make the case why your product is better than the alternatives. So the way we do that is we show them what the competition does, show them the fine print, literal sales brochures from the most common competition that we run into. And the great news is that all of their policies are junk, and it's easy to sell against them and position ourselves as a better plan. Once we do that and trial close and get them bought into the plan that we have from a conceptual standpoint, meaning, yes, I need whole life insurance better than term, so on and so forth. Your policy is good. We get them saying all this. The next step is then to go through the company you think is going to be the best suited and verbally, word for word, go through each question on the application. Tell the client, hey, look, I want to make sure I've got the right company here. I want to do the best job for you. I'm going to ask you word for word each of these questions. So that way I make sure that we've got a good choice. And then verbally ask each question. Tell them all you need to hear is a yes or no. Also, look at the prescription guide too to determine if the prescriptions are going to check out for the carrier. Sometimes you'll get answers, all no, but there's a prescription they take that knocks them out entirely. So you got to consider both. So carry both under the cheat sheet and then a prescription guide for each company. So once you figure out, okay, I think this company is going to be the best suited one, the final step is to close. And the way that you close is then at that point only do you show them what company they qualify for. You say something along the lines of, okay, Mrs. Jones, let me show you what you can qualify for. The company is called ABC Life Insurance. They're out of Des Moines, Iowa, have been in business since 1881. And the reason I'm selecting them is because ABC, meaning, you want to suggest a reason why that fits kind of their health profile or whatever their goals are. If I run into somebody that has a health problem, like say COPD, I'll say so-and-so company is one of the few that'll actually cover you first day, whereas many actually will decline you. So that gives them a good reason to buy, right? Because we've got a unique selling proposition that's different from the other companies. After I explain that to them, tell them why I'm recommending to them, I take a clean sheet of paper, write down 3 different face amounts based off of the budget range they gave me earlier. And then I ask them, so here's the 3 options that using the budget you gave me. My recommendation is to pick this one based on the fact that you said you needed this much or whatever they said. Make a recommendation. You're an expert. Experts recommend, right? So after you recommend, you say which one works best for you. Then shut up and let them reply. Assuming they buy, then at that point you begin to fill out the application. Hopefully you guys are using an electronic application with an instant decision option. And just plug everything in there, follow the prompts on the website, and then pull up the, hopefully, approval. Now, step back a few. I forgot to mention something else. So when do you pull quotes? I pull quotes really right at the end. Right before I offer the 3 prices and ask for the business, that's when I'm running quotes right at the end. Again, when you sell like I teach, what you're doing is you're selling the premium. Meaning, hey, let's think about what you can afford as opposed to how much coverage you can get, because affordability is the driver to all decisions to buy. It's got to be reasonably priced, right? It's got to fit your budget. So I have my clients think about that, and then when they agree to that in the pre-qualification section, then it's just a matter of drawing up specific quotes based off of what their range was. So for me, that's how I teach my agents how to do it. I think it works really well. It's nice to know up front what their budget is without wasting time and figuring out they can't have it, they can't afford it, all that jazz. So that is how it works in the Dave Duford world of selling final expense. Hopefully this gives you a step-by-step procedure, Scott, and anybody else out there who kind of wonders, okay, how do I do this, this, and this, and what step or procedure should I follow? Hopefully this gives you some perspective. And if you would like me to address anything at all, I'm always open to video ideas. If it hasn't occurred to you, I do a lot of videos, and one of the things that's most difficult is to stay fresh and create interesting content that is meaningful and helpful. So I always love ideas from my audience, which is why I did this video. So thank you so much for watching. DavidDuford.com if you want to learn more about joining my national insurance agency to sell final expense, as well as Medicare Advantage, mortgage protection, med sups, and annuities. Thank you for watching. See ya.